This is an interview with Shaun Prescott, who is a champion of Caribbean dance and Trinidadian dance. And she has been doing great work, fantastic work, both in and out of Trinidad. Shaun.
Hello.
Who are you?
I guess I'm, just someone who is trying to influence, even if it's just one person every day. I guess the typical things and the stereotype that I would fall into is I'm a choreographer and I'm a dancer and I'm a performer and I'm a artistic director of NY.2014. I just have to make the little plug, right? So the name of the company is L. It's spelled ELLE, but it's pronounced L. I really, I get this question a lot, right? So people always ask, why you decided to call the company L? And I really wanted to have us call all my close friends by their first letter. So I would say my friend Joelle would be J, and I would have Tanya would be T, and Zalima would be Z. So of course LaShawn was supposed to be L, and they wouldn't give it to me in the company's registry. So I was trying to be all smart and stuff. I was well, maybe I could spell it in a different way. And L is she in French, and I came up with all these grand stories to make it sound like this deep philosophical reason of why I decided to go with LMYTT, but it was really just because I wanted to get that the way it sounded to say L, and yeah, it's so weird because I'm not sure why I feel the need to try and influence people, but it just sometimes it's so satisfying and so fulfilling. I was telling you today I am so full. I'm so ridiculously full today. And maybe this is why I feel a little bit unprepared for this interview, but so this morning I went to the Gotham Performing Art. This is why I tell you my mind is jumping. I'm trying to stay focused on what. Anyway, this is how my mind is working. So whatever. This is how my mind is working. I went to the Gotham Performing Arts Academy this morning. A friend of mine from Trinidad, she emailed me last night. This is my jaw on the floor right now, right? She emailed me asking if I would be the keynote speaker for their graduation. And so after a moment of silence reading this email and not knowing what to say, and we spoke, and she was like, if maybe the kids were saying they would love if they are telling her about me, not knowing that she knew who I was, and they're telling her about this, and she has these YouTube videos, and it would be so great if we could get someone like that to come in and talk to us. And so she's like, I think I might be able to arrange that. And so Kenwyn, I walk in, can I say your name on the interview? I walk into the building, and these kids are this. We're in Brooklyn right now. This is not even Trinidad. You come up here to New York and you think, okay, you might be a little saltfish in Trinidad, but you come up here and you're just it's such a big city, and so you feel it would be that much more difficult. How are you going to make an impression here, and how are you going to influence just even, and I always, this is how so the mind jumping, right? But people just kind of ask, I feel as though it's just a matter of taking baby steps, and today was just my way of taking another one of those baby steps. And I walked into that room, and these kids are oh my god, is that her? Oh my god. And Kenwyn, I could not stop smiling. I'm with these kids and I have this ridiculous grin on my face, and they're excited and I'm excited, and so that's what has me, it has me feeling very full today. Ridiculously overwhelmed, but yeah, it's about situations like that
All right. But so in light of that, where do you see your work in what? Let me ask you differently. In light of this experience that you just brought into us, what do you hope the legacy of your work to be?
Oh wow. Wow. Kenwyn, that word legacy is so dear. Like it's that word it's like one of those things that you just hold true to your heart, and you know that that's really a dream and that's what you want to achieve, but you'd never see it. Like you'd never really. I, I don't know. It's like I, that word is overwhelming me because you like you're asking me that question in the most simple of ways, and like that's something that it's something that I dream of, like being able to have my legacy. It feels so weird even saying that, like my legacy live on years beyond. um, and like part of why I focus so much on these two specific like the way that I brand myself and the company is two separate entities. Like there's Shaun Prescott, who's like sitting in front of you here, and then there's NY.2014 that exists when I'm not here, when it's running in Trinidad and I'm here in Brooklyn, and and it's that is the legacy that I want to live on. And I've always looked at companies. I look at a lot of companies. I swear, probably subscribe to the newsletters of every time I come across a new dance company. Where's the newsletter link? Let me subscribe to this right now, because I just want to get all the updates and I want to see what other people are doing. And like, I'm subscribed to companies in London and in Sweden, and like I want to see how it's being done anywhere and everywhere. And I want to make sure that what we're doing can stand up next to all these other people. And just I look at I was doing some work on the Jose Limon company, and it was actually one of the first companies that was able to just continue its activities and operations past the founder's death. And I was like, that's what I want to do. Like I hope to God that Elle could just continue even like I'm gone, and people are going to Elle shows and going to Elle classes, and I will just have like this ridiculous big grin on my face looking down. Yeah, just.
But continue what? Continue.
So yeah, because I get well carried away with the word well trouble off, right? So for me, like one of the company slogans, the company slogan is experience different styles. Mm-hmm. And so while we started with modern, and then we expanded, we included dancehall and hip hop and Latin and folk and soca. Now, being here in New York, I recognize how important it is to make that statement where soca is concerned. Mm-hmm. And you see other people doing it. Like I found places like in Sweden and in France, and these people are acknowledging and embracing soca dance as a formal genre, like dance hall and like hip hop. And it's like I see people pushing, Marsha Montano and Bungie and like soca being included in iTunes, and we all celebrating and cheering like this, as a country. And I see that same thing happening where dance is concerned, and I feel like I guess this is where the aspect of the legacy thing is coming in, because a lot of people see me as, I've performed and I've been doing work with Marsha Montano for, 7 odd years, I think it's 7. And I was able to tap into a lot of audiences internationally. Like people would, the stories that I get, but anyway, people, so I'm able to then, the baby steps that I'm making and taking that stamp and taking the flag saying soca dance with me, people, I think I'm in a position where people can pay attention and they might be like, okay, let's see what she's up to and let's see where this is going to go and let's see what is being done where this is concerned. And I'm excited because I feel like we right there, like soca dance is just about to, this is where my legacy will be.
And how important is it for soca dance to be there? For you? What does that really mean?
What does it mean? I guess it has to do with my sense of, like, I'm very patriotic and I'm very much like, hey, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago and the soca music was originated from Trinidad and Tobago. Like, yo, 1973, like, this is us, this is our culture, this is what we do. Like, it's different to, I mean, I see, and someone asked me that, like, there are influences, we do see the hip hop influence and the reggae influence and the dancehall influence, but it's still, it's our music and it's how we move to this music, and it's so, like, this is what makes us unique. It's our energy and it's our passion and it's our drive. And I think that's why it's important, because this is how we stand out, especially, like, yo, like, the dance world here is so ridiculously competitive. You think I could come up here, like, I teach ballet and modern in Trinidad. You think I could come up here and say, like, yeah, I'm gonna start a ballet class? Hello? No. But I could come here and I could say, I'm starting a soca dance class. And people will say, yes, I will go to LaShawn's class because I think she knows half of what she's doing, where that is concerned, So it's just about using the strengths and using the little things that we have working in our advantage to try and break those barriers.
That's a nice place to continue in terms of breaking barriers. What is dance for you?
Oh, dance is I'm dancing right now. It's expression and it's movement. Dance is everything. And I've learned that spending the 2 years that I've spent at NYU Tisch, and it was so weird for me because, like, it wasn't what I was, like, I guess I maybe came here a bit naive and a bit underexposed to what is available and what is out there, and I came here and it's like, why are you dancing in time to the music? Or what are you going to do with this pillow? Or, like, it's so many different entry points in terms of inspiration and creativity, and dance can be anything. It could be any and everything, and it's what, just like, a girl, she created this piece. It's an old man walking into the room and he's huddled over and his movement is dance. That's the inspiration. It's like anything, it's everything. Dance is me. Dance is L. Dance is,
Would you say you've been fortunate to be able to do it for this long? Because, I mean, there are many of us, and we know many who have the impulse to dance. Most children have an impulse towards dance, especially most young girls.
Yeah.
What allowed you, and I'm not talking about external factors predominantly, but what do you think allowed you from your own self to still be here and say that dance is me, and to have an idea of a legacy set up in it?
I think there's a host of different factors. One, my support system is ridiculous. Like, I am just eternally grateful, and I'm always just so overwhelmed at the level of support that I get. My family is just, I remember when, they say in Trini, you have a big walk, right? So I had this big walk with the Ministry of Trade, And then like I was talking to my dad, and I was like, I think I want to try and do this full time, this dancing thing. And he's like, yeah, do it. I'll give you $20 when you're hungry, when you need it, when you're scratching and you need to. Don't ask somebody for the money. You come on, give you $20. But no. There's when I said I was starting L in New York. My mother only admitted this to me recently. She said, LaShawn, when you said you were starting L in New York, I thought you were insane. But I did not say that to you. I said, okay, if that's what you want to do, and yes, you're teaching there now. And it's like, so they just, regardless of what insane and most far-fetched idea I have, they were supporting me like 107%. And I think a lot of people, when I say family, it's like extended family to like friends and people who are there and close to you. And that is probably one of the biggest reasons why I could say that I'm still here, and why I can see that, yeah, that this legacy thing is actually possible. And it also helps because genetically, like it runs in the family that I'm so petite, and so like I probably still look like I do when I was 12. So it's we still grooving, What else? What else?
Let me ask you this way: what, in real terms, what is the work behind it? Let's take you from 12. In real terms, what is the work behind?
Kenwyn is a lot, honestly. And there are very few times when I would admit, when you're going through struggles and when you're, but like there's have so many times where I just be like, Shaun, you sure you want to do this, girl? Like, we're doing, you sure this the part? And I have a friend who I was talking to recently, and he's like, Shaun, it's Friday night and it's 12:30. Why are you telling me that you're doing work? Why are you home doing work? And I was like, I spend a lot of nights, plural, nights, just up doing stuff, like, hours just doing things, because when I started, it's just me. And so you're doing the accounts for yourself, and you're doing the marketing for yourself, and you're doing everything for yourself. And then maybe I might be a bit of a micromanager, but I still do a lot of these things. Like I'm doing all the little Facebook posts, and I'm responding to emails, and it's just be so time consuming. And I'm not sure, I guess it, like, right now I am comfortable financially. I am not in a position where I could say, oh, let me go, like I'm living at large, and that's not the case. And this is like me being honest, like I don't feel like that's not where the reward is, and I'm not saying that it's not possible, because you see, like, I look at that building that I teach in at the Mark Morris, and it is a beautiful building, and I wish one day that I could say, like, I have this look at the studio that I have, like, this is our building, this is L's studio. So it's possible, because you see people doing it, and baby steps towards that stage. But right now the rewards are when, like, for example, today when I walk into that room and those girls put their hand to their mouth and said, oh my God, is that her? Just being able to see how just seeing how other people can react to your work. And I sat in on their dance session, and there's this one girl from Barbados, like, they're doing their different routines. So there's one person, they did ballet and they did a hip hop routine, and then the teacher said, and it's such a shame that I can't remember her name right now, but let's say it's Alicia. She's like, Alicia, so we're going to do your piece now. And I turned to the teacher and I said, okay, what side is she doing? And she said, soca. Kind of, you know how that make me feel? Those are the rewards. Yeah.
I want to come back to that. But, no, I don't want to come back to that. I want to stay on it. I hate to be pedantic about the question. But I still want to know what, like in a step-by-step way, what does it take? if imagine there's somebody who has that fire inside of them, that impulse to dance, and they want to know how to be like you. They're looking at you like those girls, and they want to know what does it take to be that dancer, that they could turn the world away and say, I am this.
I think it takes a huge level of commitment and dedication and time management, and like you just have to be. So like, let me give you this example, right? You know, I started with modern, and a lot of people start with ballet and they start at 3 years old, and that wasn't the case with me. And so along the line, you know, you realize, okay, you pay attention to what is needed. What else do I need to develop my skills? What skill do I need? And at that time, I realized I was like 21, and I realized that I needed to have ballet to help with my grace. And I enrolled in Caribbean School of Dance, and everyone else in the class was like around 13, and I was 21. And you know, and they giggling at me in the class, like you know, they laughing and stuff, and I'm trying to learn the point, and my knees are hurting, and you know, and you just have to stick with it. Like you have to be able to go through these times where you don't care about if someone else laughing at you, and you don't care if you're in pain, and you know that you're gonna push through it because other people did it before you, and if other people could do it before you, you could do the same thing, you know. And you have to. A big thing I think in being able to be here today is knowing the industry and keeping your eyes and ears open for what is happening around you. And it's the same thing like I was saying, you know, just the way that I did it was like subscribing to these things, but like I look at how other people are doing it, and okay, you know what, this person, I see this company, they're sending out these new newsletters, and they're using this MailChimp application. Let me go look at this MailChimp. I think I could do this MailChimp thing too. And I go, boom, find out about the MailChimp. So I sending out newsletters now. And, you know, and then I came to a point where, you know, people are saying, okay, yes, but you have this dance company, and what qualification do you have in dance? And I didn't have any. And I said, okay, that's what I need to do. And I, you know, got advice, and I remember, and I speak a lot to people. Like I learned from other people's stories as well, and I ask people for just like tell me how to do it. Like people that you know, like you know, I approached Nicole Wesley from UTT. I approached Hazel Franco from. I was like, I think I want to now go and try and Nancy Herrera from Caribbean School. What do you think? What do you suggest? And they say, okay, you know what, you already have a master's in econ, so maybe you shouldn't try to do the undergrad, because maybe I think you could get into a program at the master's level. And I looked at different, and I got the recommendations. All right, so I need a qualification now in dance. I need to go on audition. I need to get myself back into a ballet class, because that's what the audition takes, you know. So I think like some of the things I would say, just besides, you know, people always say that determination and stay focused and stuff, but just like really keep your ears and eyes on the ground, and just see what the industry requires. If it requires you being a little bit more savvy with social media, guess what? Open that Twitter account, go and join Facebook. You know, like that's what it takes right now. You're seeing people doing all these things on YouTube. Guess what? Go and open a YouTube account. Start taping yourself in the studio. It's amazing. Like I look at these things, and that YouTube is also what has been able to make me accessible to such a wider audience. I had a friend. She was here in New York. She was taking my classes. Lola. She's originally from France. She went back to France, and she took this. You know, a lot of people know her IL level. She does like dancehall, soca. French girl, and so she and her sister are talking to Aya, and Aya said like, yeah, I follow her, and you know, I've been following her and her company. What? How on earth would I have been able to let Aya see me? She, you know, these are the tools, YouTube and like all these social, like I just have to learn what else is what angle is the industry moving towards now. Right now is social media and there's a lot of YouTube stuff and there's a lot of, you know, keep on top of it, keep in the game. I having fun.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. I want to ask you a question. It's based on a thought I had in my mind. Because I see a correlation between you being here in New York and in Brooklyn, which is a lovely city, right?
Isn't it gorgeous?
Beautiful. And when Barry McBurney was here in the 1930s. And we're talking about one person being here and having that impact back home. So it's a two-part question. The question goes back, I suppose, towards the end, to the idea of what you want to see built. Like if someone were asking Barry McBurney this question when she was in New York, what she wanted to see built in Trinidad or the Caribbean. Because it's based on her influence at the Jamaican School of Dance opening up. Right? One Trinidadian girl in New York. But the first part of it is what has been the impact of New York on you and your vision and your scope.
You want me to answer that first question, the first part before you?
Whichever one.
I think being here has opened my eyes to the possibilities. I've seen like I was able to see other people's stories and learn how they did what they did, and really try and piggyback on their tools and their steps. We have been able to make such a profound statement in like sports and it's Trinidad and Tobago, and I would love to be able to do that same thing. I know Astor Johnson has done some touring and stuff, and we have these skills and we have the talents, and I wish I could see like these Trinidad and Tobago dance companies doing those types of tours again. I say again, and there are people who are doing it, like I know Metamorphosis, they been doing stuff and like in London and stuff, and so they're there, but I want to see it done on a grander scale, and I feel that being here in New York has made me it opened up so many networking possibilities. I like these stories. Sorry, my mind has jumped from thing to thing, right? So Marsha Montano asked me to do a video. He had a performance for the United Nations in the UN headquarters last Friday. And he asked me to do a video that they use on the LED screen, not like they just have the LED screens backdrop and stuff. And so I went to the event, and I'm sitting there next to a guy from Sudan. He works at the United Nations, and he said hi. He introduced himself and stuff, and I said, yes, I'm a dancer. He's like, really? I'm an arts manager for a dance company out in Sudan. What? Look my card. Hello? I emailed him one time to any night. These are the kind of connections, like, those kind of networking opportunities. And so it's possible being here in New York and meeting all these different people and, having these types of opportunities. Sorry, I get so, and you know what I'm off to? Barry McBurney dread. Like, just, what she has been able to do, and for you to ask me a question using Barry McBurney in that same question is this. I want to be like a Barry McBurney, and I want Elle to be able to represent Trinidad and Tobago both in New York and in other countries. Like I've been looking at other places. Like I sell out my little secrets. But looking at stuff in Toronto too, and looking at stuff in France, my uncle said the world is your oyster, and I feel it could be done. And I feel like we have these skills in Trinidad and Tobago, not only where dance is concerned, but I say in dance just because, this is my field, to fly the flag around the world, Kenwyn, like the world, I'm sorry, I get to... Ooh. Having a moment here, I'm having a moment. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Shaun. This was a terrific interview. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so very much for giving me this opportunity to just talk and to share the stories, and it's just amazing. Thank you.